The recent encyclical by Pope Francis titled Fratelli Tutti, a social encyclical concerned about fraternal love from the Christian perspective, have generated numerous reactions since its publication. Strongest among these reactions is the accusation that the encyclical favors Freemansory. Does Fratelli Tutti favor Freemansory? This is the question I shall be addressing in this section of Come Let Us Pray. Stay tuned, don't leave. The encyclical Fratelli Tutti is concerned about fraternal love from the Christian perspective to address present-day hostilities seen from the various problems facing the world at the moment, ranging from coronavirus, terrorism, political instabilities, religious indifference, and religious wars and agendas like Islamization. The Pope addresses these issues and blames the high rate of hostility in the world today as a failure on our part to see others as our neighbors. According to him, even though through science and technology and world unions and associations, man have been able to create a kind of global networks that unites us, sadly, these networks, from what is seen, have left us with a false notion of communion and thus turn us more apart, since these networks are mostly based on economic and financial foundations. Everything is interconnected. Man and his environment is interconnected. The Pope draws this teaching from his previous encyclical, Laudato Si. This idea, he says, should lead us to the consciousness that whatever we do, whether good or bad, leaves trails of consequences either now or in the future. Hence, through this encyclical, the Pope calls everyone to openness to everyone around us, for we are neighbors. Our neighbors are not only those we know, or those who live close to us, or those who live around us. Our neighbors includes also the stranger, the weak, the oppressed, the marginalized, the foreigner, and the stranger. Funny enough, this openness to help, listen, respect, and love those around us, even those who do not share our faith, is taken up by the Freemasons to mean that the Catholic Church is changing her views about Freemansory. But is this true? Is this the case? Certainly not true. Certainly not the case. The Grand Lodge of Spain, through its official communication, praises the encyclical, saying, and I quote, "How far the current Catholic Church is from its former position. In Fratelli Tutti, the Pope embraces universal fraternity, the great principle of modern mansory." Who are the Freemasons? What is Freemansory? Freemasons are fraternal associations from all walks of life who profess religious indifference. For them, God is referred to as the grand architect of the world, but they criticize the Christian teachings about God. They do not believe the Christian and the Catholic teachings about God. Hence, the Catholic Church places ban on every Catholic from associating with them, since their very views antagonizes the very doctrines and teachings of the Church. In fact, the former Pope, Pope Benedict XVI, wrote in a letter that all those Catholics who enroll in Freemansory are in a state of grave sin and may not receive Holy Communion. And the law of the Church, the canon law, forbids every Catholic from belonging to associations or groups that antagonize the Catholic faith and the teachings of the Church. The Freemasons take up their argument from chapter 6, number 218 of the Encyclical, where the Pope calls us to embrace a new culture of openness. They say, since the Pope calls everyone to recognize other people's rights to be themselves and to be different, he endorses the principle of Freemansory. This argument has also been picked up by the queer community, who feels the Pope's submission here calls everyone to accept them and accept their queerness. Other communities are also picking up this statement to claim acceptance, that the world should accept them. How should we accept or embrace this new culture of openness to others? Pope Francis, already in the introductory part of this encyclical, number 3 precisely, tells us on how to do it. He tells us we should be subject to every creature for God's sake, without renouncing our own identity. This brings to mind here the encounter between Jesus and the Samaritan woman in John chapter 4, where Christ openly and with fraternal love accepted this woman's difference. Christ converted her through dialogue and the truth. Hence, the Pope calls us to humble and fraternal subjection that will be done through dialogue and openness to the truth. Pope Francis teaches that a humble and fraternal subjection to those who do not share and practice the Christian faith without argument or dispute is a response to our faith in God. By this statement, he re-emphasizes the teaching of the Catholic Church in the Catechism of the Catholic Church, number 2104, that it is charity when we offer sincere respect to those who do not share our faith and those who do not believe in God. He draws this inspiration from St. Francis of Assisi, who visits the Malik el-Kamul in Egypt in order to have a religious dialogue with him. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, I urge you to hit the red subscribe button, turn on the notification bell to keep you informed whenever I upload new content. God bless you.